Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of New Earth TV Live. Thank you, everybody, for being here for this exciting episode today. And once again, we're just going to take a moment. And love and joy to wherever you are in the world right now, to these great transformations taking place, this transitional time that we are going through. Remember what is inside your heart. Remember the light that is there. Remember the strength that is there. Open that heart up and remember, it is your reality. It is your world. Make it the best one. All right. We will now go ahead and begin with some announcements. Here we go. Beautiful, sacred geometrical clothing, apparel, and accessories imbued with spirit source energy to heal, rejuvenate, detoxify, and strengthen the body. Shop now at healingcodeshop.com.
The latest revelation in alternative healing has arrived. The Healing Code Cards, a spiritual technology unlike anything else. Through the power of sacred geometry imbued with pure source energy, physical ailments can become eliminated and detoxified from your body. 36 cards specifically designed to work on the major areas of the body, encouraging natural recovery and increased vitality. Working with the cards are easy, and their healing results are profound. Download our collection of free sample cards so you can experience results for yourself. And don't forget to view our customer testimonials. Our printed Healing Code card deck is available now with shipping available worldwide. Visit our website at healingcodecards.com.
And of course, the Body Deck Special Edition, there is an update with it. It is currently delivered now to the West Coast. It's in Los Angeles right now. So it's basically just going through its UPS screening process, right? So that could probably still take a few days. But again, it should be here around mid to late August. So again, fingers are crossed, just waiting for all the custom stuff to get resolved. So again, if those of you who are still interested in ordering the special edition and you have not yet, you can pre-order it now, right? And of course, you'll get a free digital version of the Body Deck Special Edition. I'm also currently working on the Healing Code Cards Energy Deck, all right? So that should be ready hopefully around October or November. And that's when the digital version will come out. And then the printed edition, I'm thinking, will probably come out around February of 2022. So the energy deck is also coming here very, very soon. I'm looking forward to that one because that is the refinement deck. That works with just refinement and purification. The other decks, like the body deck and the mind deck, works with detoxification and elimination, whereas the energy deck works with purification and refinement. So I'm looking forward to bringing that forward here in the next little while. And of course, private sessions, EQ method, is still available. There are actually only a couple spots left. I'm pretty much almost booked up for the month of August. I got a couple more spots left. So again, if you guys want to grab 15-minute, 30-minute, 45-minute, and 60-minute sessions, you can go ahead and do so. Again, I will still be continuing my private sessions even after August 31st. I will be continuing the EQ method. I'll be continuing the 3-question email sessions, group sessions as well too. There's even going to be some new sessions that I'm going to be looking to create with kind of the new direction. I'll just call it the new journey ahead. So again, like I said, I'll just be finishing my channeling journey here. August 31st, I'll be concluding my channeling journey with Adronis, as well as with the Akashic Records. But again, what is coming in its place is something phenomenally better. And again, if you guys just tuned into the Earth Intelligence report yesterday, I was talking about this briefly at the beginning of the report, where I will just be connecting directly with spirit in a natural state of consciousness. There is no channeling involved whatsoever. That's really what's taking place. That's the replacement here. And the, again, information that comes through is very profound because I'm not altering my consciousness to bring in an entity, right? That's not what's happening anymore. That's nothing against Adronis at all. He's wonderful. He's my brother. What can I say? And he will always be with me. But it's just the channeling state itself that I'm hanging up. So that is that's the intention here. And moving on into this new journey that's going to be starting after August 31st. And of course, the Infinite Intelligence Report is going to be replacing the Earth Intelligence Report. So a lot of great things to look forward to, better things to come on this channel, past channeling, and moving just into natural spirit communication, looking more into self-realization, and a lot more. So there'll be a lot more to come, a lot of more exciting things on the horizon. And of course, Adronis final transmission, Saturday, August 26th. Now this is going to be broadcasted also on YouTube, right? So it'll be a free webinar that'll be simulcasted on YouTube as well too. However, if you do want to ask Adronis questions, you will need to register on Zoom for that. Okay, so questioners are only going to be able to ask questions to Adronis that are on Zoom. Okay, now, Zoom can hold up to 500 people, so it is going to be a special 2-hour final transmission, right, where it's mostly going to be Q&A. Adronis is going to give kind of a farewell transmission, and then it'll move into a Q&A with everybody that is on Zoom. And of course, I have a moderator that will be working together with that as Adronis takes your questions for final transmission. So I'm looking forward to that, and you can register. Just go to the video description here on YouTube and just click on the link, and you can register for this free webinar. Okay, it's free, does not cost anything. And I'm looking forward to the final transmission. All right. So those are all the announcements. Now we're going to go ahead and move on into doing some warm-up. A warm-up with the chakra centers, doing some chakra center clearing. And then we'll move on to some remote distance healing. Okay, so if you guys have any healing requests, the realignment method we're going to work with. And then we'll go on into Q&A, so either with myself or with Adronis if you guys have questions for that. So Q&A will be the last segment. So first and foremost, let's work with clearing the chakras, okay? Just as we have in the previous weeks, we're doing it again, all right? So just get yourselves nice and relaxed, nice and comfortable, making sure the body is free of any tension. You can place your hands upon the center of your chest if you wish, or keep them on your lap, whichever you feel is good. We're going to take a deep breath in, deep breath out. I'll take my headphones off because we are going to be plugging the ears. Okay, we're going to begin now with the root chakra. All right, so we're connecting to the gonads, right, the testes, the ovaries. We can see the color red within our mind. All right, and we're going to plug our ears, and again, we're doing an Om chant, but we're focusing primarily on the sound. That's the vibratory sound that we're focusing on, and we're just imagining that we're taking that sound, that vibratory sound, and we're just putting it inside the chakra, and we're vibrating it and bringing it into purity, okay? So connecting to the gonads, connecting to the red energy, taking a deep breath in, plugging your ears. Moving up now to the sacral or navel chakra. Again, that is connected to the tissues of the testes, ovaries. Okay, we're looking into the Leydig cells for males, the Hylar cells for females. Okay, just connecting the connective tissue of the testes and ovaries. Again, seeing the orange ray here. So we plug our ears, deep breath in. Okay, moving up now into the solar plexus chakra, colored yellow, which is connected to the adrenal glands. All right, so seeing the color yellow, we're connecting to the adrenal glands, taking a deep breath in. Okay, moving up now to the heart chakra, colored green, connecting directly to the thymus gland, that butterfly-shaped gland in the center of the chest near the heart. Taking a deep breath in, color green. Okay, moving up now to the throat chakra, colored ice blue or aqua, connected to the thyroid gland. Taking a deep breath in. Okay, moving up now to the third eye chakra, the brow chakra, colored ocean blue, and we're connecting to the pineal gland. Taking a deep breath in. Alright, moving on now to the crown chakra. Of course, not at the crown, but at the pituitary gland, colored violet. Deep breath in. Alright. One final deep breath in. Going all the way down the spine, emptying your lungs, and just feel that charge. That charge of the spine, that charge of the organs, that charge of the glands, as we did some internal clearing. All right, it's always a wonderful sensation. So hope a lot of you are doing it alongside with me so you can feel it for yourself. It's quite simple to do. All right, so let me just pop these back on. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and move on to any healing requests. Okay, so if you have any healing requests for yourself or for someone you know that you want to present, you can feel free to do that. If you guys want to leave a contribution as well too, that brings you first in line, both through healing requests and through Q&A as well too. And of course, contributions are always appreciated. Thank you very much. Helps with production as well too. I always put that towards production, getting better things going here, making the videos good quality, because those are what make videos stand out nowadays. Good quality. So they require budgets. Okay, so let me just go through the chat. If you guys do again have any healing requests that you would like to put forward on the chat, you can feel free to do that. Like I said, you can do it for yourself, or you can do it for another person. And feel free to put that down. Okay, well, right now there's a quick question here from Interesting Things. We are going to be getting into Q&A here a little bit later on. A question for Adronis regarding the Earth Intelligence Report. So can we expect that the push for vaccines and the entire COVID agenda will come to the end with 2022? Adronis was not channeling the Earth Intelligence Report. Interesting Things, okay? That's not an Adronis channeling, right? This is an Earth collective consciousness, right? So every time I do the Earth Intelligence Report, Adronis is not the one that's coming through with that information, right? If it was, then I'd be calling it Adronis Earth Intelligence Report, right? That's not the case. So again, the information that's being shared with the Earth Intelligence Report, because that was the last episode, we'll be moving on into the Infinite Intelligence Report in September, which is going to be an even greater format, okay? Again, the overall question is, can we expect that the push for vaccines and the entire COVID agenda will come to the end with 2022? So basically what I've felt, again, you guys can take or leave what I share, right? But what I've felt altogether is that before April of 2022, yes, the entire cascading of the agenda will come to an end. Now, there still may be the idea that vaccines may still be part of the Earth plane, right? But they will not be seen as mandatory, right? The entire plan for the vaccination agenda, trying to push it, trying to force it upon people in that way, will simply come to an end. Will they still be available in 2022? They may still be, right? But I do not feel it will come into a mandatory level. Or they're trying to push a mandatory intention towards it. That is going to shrink down. So will they still be available? Most likely. But again, there will not be that pushing, right? Because here's the thing, guys, that dark force, those dark players are dying off, right? I've talked about this extensively in the past. If you guys have already tuned into the newer TV lives in the past, I've talked about this, right? The counter forces, which is really what I call them now. It's not really so much of the alliance or white hats. I just refer to them as the counter forces because you guys are the counter forces as well too, right? So those, not all of you, but those who are really awakening, seeing what's happening, getting the bigger picture here, it's for those who see, right? And they are greatly outnumbering the dark players, right? So everything is changing. Everything is going through an incredible shift right now. So I will be talking a little bit more about this during the Q&A period. But 2022, again, on a numerological level, on an astrological level, and through what I'm feeling through intuition, by April of 2022. Yes, I feel like there are any forced pushes, any harshness, just everything regarding that nature of an agenda pertaining to vaccines will be coming to an end. Right? There will be no more momentum behind it. It will basically sizzle out, right? This is why right now, again, as you guys tuned into the Earth Intelligence Report, hopefully most of you that are watching this right now, okay, you discovered that this is just continuing to happen throughout the summer, throughout the fall, around to the end of the year, and then there's going to be a sizzling out, kind of like I would say more like a fizzling out of the momentum behind the agenda, because it's being scrapped more and more each and every day. And there was a person that was saying, well, it looks like they're getting much more of a head of steam taking place here. I said, no, that's desperation. They have a head of steam because they're desperate. They are willing to do anything. They don't care if they even expose themselves. They just want to try and implement these plans. But it's foolish, right? You're exposing everything. Every action that they commit is just adding more several feet to their own graves. So it's a no-win situation for them, right? But they will act. They still have these tools, right? One of their big tools is mainstream media, right? They still have a few little tools in their arsenal, but as the report was saying, that's being taken away from them more and more every single day, right? So they're becoming less and less, but they're frantic. They're doing everything they can because they still have a lot of these placeholders together throughout the world that they're trying to use, all these backups of backups of backups, and they're being taken away every time. They realize that they cannot win, but they don't care. They want to just do everything. Their mentality is, if we can't have the world, nobody else can, right? These guys, everybody, are psychopaths, okay? They are not graceful old boys that are ready to bow out and think that, we've lost, we admit defeat, we'll hang everything up, the world's yours now. No. These are psychopaths, all right? So this is what's happening. It's just that they're being stripped of everything down to the last, right? And their corruption is basically what's going to leave the earth. So again, I've already talked about this, right? So interesting things, you know this, right? You've been tuning every week. You know about these things. Just review from what I've been sharing week after week, all right? It's still very much the same, okay? So I got a contribution here from George. Thank you very much, George. Appreciate it. And from Big D AG, a special healing intention for the children who have and will be receiving the jab. Yeah, Big D, we can't do that, right? It needs to be for a specific person, right? So it's either for yourself or it's for another person, okay? But we're basically just aiming for an individual, right? If I'm basically taking all the, it's kind of like looking into the ocean trying to find out where all the fish are, right? This is why we do mass guided meditations, right? So when I've done earth meditations in the past, that goes towards the entire collective. When we're doing realignment method, it's important that we know the person, right? So whether it's yourself or whether it's a person that you know, then we're working with that person, okay? So this is why we can't really do the realignment method collectively. It needs to be through a person. We have to kind of feel their imprint. We have to feel their hologram, right? And then we can start to work together with that person, okay? But what I would suggest, Big D, is go to some of the earth meditations that I've done in the past, okay? And just watch that and interact with it. Experience it for yourself. And you're seeing every single person that has been affected, right? Every child, every man, every woman, right? That has been affected by this. And you're just using that mass meditation to send your love across the entire planet, okay? And that works together with the black ball, white ball as well too, right? So you can see the black ball above the earth, right, collecting all of that debris in the black ball. And of course we see the white ball, all of that love that we give to the earth and all life upon the earth that is being distributed to all life upon the earth. So that is what I'd recommend instead, okay, is work with one of those meditations. You can find them on my YouTube channel. So again, thank you for your contribution. But again, if you still have someone in mind that you want to work with for healing, you can let me know, okay? Thank you very much. Okay, let me go down the list here a bit more. Okay, Blissful Gabriel is asking healing for the genital organs, please. Okay, yeah, we can do that. So, Gabriel, I'll just call you Gabriel, okay? Let's go ahead and begin that. So what I'd like you to do, firstly, is just take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, and you can place your hands upon the center of your chest if you wish, all right? And I want you just to observe, Gabriel, your body as it exists right now, okay? Not trying to change or alter anything whatsoever, just being aware of your body in this moment. Okay, so now I want you to imagine like you're stepping out of the body, right? It's kind of like we're going off to sleep and we're going into our astral body. We're going into our dream body, right? So you're basically hovering directly above your physical body as it currently is, all right? So just give that impression. Even if you can't visualize it, just know that that's what's happening. Just feel it, right? I'm just hovering above my body and I'm seeing my current state of body here and now. And now you're going to see another body directly in front of your current body, all right? And this current body represents the purification. It represents the pure energies and is absent of any conflicts and conditions, okay? So I just want you to see that new body right now, directly in front of the old body, okay? And I want you just to imagine like the essence of yourself is just going into this new body, okay? As it goes into this new body, I just want you to kind of do some calibrations, right? You're rotating your shoulders, you're moving your fingers, you're wiggling your toes, you're kind of moving the hips a little bit, right? You're just kind of working with the spine. You're feeling the organs, you're feeling their health, you're feeling their radiance, you're feeling their wellness, right? With the reproductive system as well too, you're feeling its wellness, its radiance. Everything within this body feels completely pure, all right? And I want you to hold that thought ball right here, okay? It's a ball of energy, and it's a thought ball. How are you feeling now that you're inside this new body, now that you're testing it out? This feels amazing. This feels wonderful. I feel such radiant health. I feel such radiant wellness. Everything within the body feels pristine. It is absent of any conflict and conditions. This is happening to me right now, right now, right now, right now. Okay, now I want you just to take a few moments just to, again, expand that ball. You're expanding it as you're putting all of this information, all of this insight into it, okay? That this is happening into you right now, right now, right now. Okay, and so as you're feeling that, the thought ball, energy ball is really big, all right? So now we're going to compress it into a small ball, and we're just putting that directly into the crown and feeling that light just surge throughout the entire body, okay? Those are your instructions. So again, place your hands upon the center of your chest and just hold that intention as I connect with Spirit now. I command God's Spirit light to apply Gabriel's command. Apply. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, and Gabriel, let me know how you're feeling. If you're doing good, if If you have any additional questions, you can leave it on the chat, or again, you can drop me an email, info@newearthteachings.org, or go to the website, newearthteachings.com, go to the contact page, and you can drop me a message there. Okay? Thank you, Gabriel. Okay. Okay. This is for Brad Garth here. Both me and my wife are evacuated from our home because of the fire near Fintry. Could you please help us with a healing on our lungs as the smoke bothers our asthma? Yes, of course. So if you're both together, Brad, I didn't get your wife's name, but I guess I'll just refer to her as Brad's wife. Okay. So, yes. So now that we're doing this with two people, what I'd like you two to do together, and I'm just acting as if your wife is watching this broadcast as well too, is that you're going to be bridges for each other. Okay. So Brad, you're going to be a bridge for your wife, and your wife is going to be a bridge for yourself. Okay. So what I'd like the both of you to do right now is just placing your hands upon the center of your chest, taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. Okay, and Brad, I just want you to envision your wife in your mind. Okay, she's laying down on a couch, or she's laying down on a bed. Okay. And Brad's wife, I would like you to do the same thing. Okay, just envisioning Brad within your mind. He's laying down on a couch or laying down on a bed. All right. So it doesn't even matter if the two of you are right next to each other. You're just focusing on this inner visualization. Okay. And so, Brad, I just want you to place your hand just upon the top of your wife's chest here. All right. You're tuning in to her lungs. And to Brad's wife, I would say the same thing. Just placing your hand upon the top of his chest and just tuning in to the lungs as well too. All right. I want you to just remain within that state, just feeling each other's lungs, feeling each other's state of each other's bodies. Okay, and so now what I want you, Brad, to do is I want you just to look at your partner, all right? And I want you to imagine her in a powerful, beautifully radiant potential body, okay? That potential body is there that represents the absence of any conflicts and any conditions altogether. Okay, so I just want you to feel that perfect body, you could say, for your wife, all right? Where she is completely absent of any conflicts and conditions. Okay, to Brad's wife, I will say the same thing. I want you to envision your husband's body completely absent of any conflicts and conditions. A beautifully radiant well body. The lungs are pure, the organs are pristine, the bodily systems are functioning extremely well, everything feels perfect. Okay? So, Brad, I want you to envision as if your wife is going into this body and she's testing it out, right? She's moving everything, she's tapping into her body, she's feeling the pristine nature of the body altogether. Okay, and to Brad's wife, I would say the same thing, that you're imagining Brad going into his body, and again, he's feeling everything out, right? He's feeling the purity of the body, absent of any conflicts. Okay? So now the two of you are going to be holding this thought ball. Okay, so Brad, you're holding that thought ball just over your wife's body. Okay, and you're just imagining her potential body. Right? It is pristine, it is beautiful, she is not suffering in any way. Lungs are healthy, lungs are well. Everything within the body feels perfect for her. Okay, Brad's wife, exact same thing. Feeling him inside this pristine body. Okay? And again, you're both telling yourself, this is happening right now. This is happening right now. This is happening right now. Okay? Okay, so I want you now, just both of you, shrinking down that ball and placing it upon the crown of that person, all right? So Brad, you're placing it on top of your wife's crown. Brad's wife, you are placing on top of his crown, all right? And you're feeling that golden energy just imbue into the bodies right now. And just holding that intention as I connect with Spirit. I command God's Spirit light to apply Brad and Brad's wife's command. Apply. Deep breath in, deep breath out. All right. So, both of you guys, let me know how you feel. If you have any questions, again, you can feel free to leave that in the chat. Again, or you can drop me an email as well, too. All right. Thank you very much, both. Okay. Yeah, there's just a question here about the first 2 quarters of 2021. Were we expecting to have this whole agenda play out? Actually, yeah, it was. Here's the thing, guys. Plans change. Okay? This is why I didn't do predictions for quite some time, because people don't get this. They don't understand. They think that reality is just a permanent body, right? And as soon as someone makes a prediction, well, then that's got to stand. Because if that doesn't stand, well, then there we go. We can unleash on that person, right? This is why I didn't do predictions for quite some time. But originally, yes, the whole idea was that this whole agenda was going to subside this year. That was the original plan. And they were going to move into much more of their climate agenda to be much more of their focus. But because they have been so heavily infiltrated, and a lot of their climate change plans have been busted, seizing of technologies, seizing of all these things, of trying to take over farms and eliminate cattle and all of those things, a lot of that has been averted. So rather than hanging up the COVID agenda, which was what they were going to do, they've decided to push it further because their other plan has been foiled, right? So these things change, everybody. This is why when you look at predictions, everybody, you just take it with a grain of salt. Because when I was looking at it and say, okay, yeah, this feels like 2021, there may be a hanging up of this agenda, right? Because I feel that they're probably going to move into something else. But that something else was plummeting, right? It was falling apart. So in that sense, they had to go back to their backup and say, okay, let's stick with this and we'll blow it up a lot more, right? That's how it played out. So like I said, predictions will not always come to pass, guys. Just because I make a prediction doesn't mean that that is 100% set in stone. Just because somebody else makes a prediction doesn't mean that that's 100% set in stone, okay? Those are possibilities. Those are probabilities, okay? If you guys are hanging your hats on probabilities and possibilities, no offense, but you're being very foolish, all right? You take all these things with a grain of salt. Even when I share these things that are coming about, this is all just sharing, right? We don't know what's going to happen in the times ahead. We have certain ideas of momentum that comes together. We can look at astrology, we can look at numerology, because they represent a certain template, but how it comes about is anyone's guess, right? So you just feel out momentum as this comes through. But again, if you guys really just 100% hang your hats on predictions, right, on people who are just giving their sharings, giving their perspectives on things, then that's very foolish, right? Just always expect the unexpected. Take everything that you see on the internet, including my stuff, with a grain of salt. You are the one that holds the truth, right? You are the one. When you actually tap into yourself and you actually open up this heart, right, going into the self, cleaning yourself out, cleaning out the cobwebs, and you actually see what's happening, the heart is going to show you. And now you'll have your own perceptions. So well, this is what I feel is going to happen. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But nonetheless, you have a momentum ahead. The most powerful place you can be is right here, right now, with an open heart, right? That is the empowerment path, right? Whenever we're stretching ourselves out and saying, oh, this person said this, and so this must be happening, so I'll get all this ready because this person said this. And you're being a fool. Simple as that, right? Look at these things with a grain of salt. Give it a small speck of your attention, and that's it. Continue to live your life, because no one can predict about what you are going to do. You yourself living this life, right? It's all based upon your decisions. So take it in that context, okay? All right, let's go down the list here a bit more. We're going to take one more healing request, and we're going to Q&A. Okay, this is from Afumi. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name right here. Some of my own childhood trauma seems to be triggered after I worked with another person on some processes. Any healing is welcome. That's perfectly normal, Afumi, okay? Whenever you start working upon yourself and you're clearing things out, if you have a guide that's helping you out, helping you to clear out a lot of this emotional debris, you have to see it, guys, as like a gigantic Mount Everest of a pile of laundry, all right? So you're starting right at the tip of the mountain and you're clearing some stuff out, then you clear some debris and you realize there's a lot more, all right? And triggers are actually doing you a favor because it's telling you there's a lot more here. We have layers upon the heart, okay? There are layers of debris. There's layers of junk. There's layers of cobwebs, okay? You're cleaning out the whole body because it is piles on top of piles on top of piles of debris. If you really want to do this appropriately, you start back from your earliest memory that you can recall, okay? If the earliest memory that you recall is when you're a 5-year-old, right, and there is some type of trauma happening, that's where you want to begin. And now you're creating a timeline. All right, so now you're going, here's when I was 5, here's when I was 7, here's when I was 9, 13, 17, 19, etc. And all these big traumas, these big emotional outbursts that I do recall, because I get this question a lot, well, Brad, what if I don't remember what it is that I've recalled? Well, then you can't do anything. You have to let that memory come together whenever it needs to come together. Work with what you know. Work with what you recall. And so as you clean out that one trauma, now there's other triggers that are coming in saying, okay, good. You've cleaned that out, so this trauma is like a lightning bolt pitching to this pile of debris that's within yourself now. And now you go and you clear that out, right? And then there's another lightning bolt, and it's over at that debris. You go and you clear that out. You clean all of this out, okay? This is why I've recommended the nature of self-inquiry, but I know a lot of you guys don't get it, right? When you're working with self-inquiry, when you're inquiring into yourself, and you're going beyond the body and beyond the mind, and you stay there. That is probably the easiest thing to do, right? But it's when many of you cannot really grasp the process. This is why I've created the EQ method, okay? The EQ method is the simplified version, the Western version, the layman's version of self-inquiry, okay? So you're going in, and I'm guiding you step by step, and now you're getting this. Every single person who I've done the EQ method to so far, who didn't think they would get it, gets it. And now they're doing the work, and now they're cleaning themselves out, and they're cleaning themselves out very quickly, right? So that would be my recommendation, is working with self-inquiry. If you don't get self-inquiry, talk to me. We do an EQ method, okay? If you don't want to do that, then start working with the BCR technique. Start working with the clarity technique. Start working with the black ball, white ball technique. Work with the release technique that is Lester Levinson's, okay? Look at a few other techniques. There's timeline therapy, right? There's NLP. There's a lot of different things you can work with. But again, self-inquiry, EQ method are the only two direct methods because they go directly to your true source. Others require the mind to work with the mind, and that's fine. You're taking little nibbles. You're taking bites off the traumas. When you go to the direct method, you're taking heaps off of yourself. All right? So that's just a reminder there. Okay? So yes, Afumi, we can do a healing for you, okay? So this is basically just representing the emotional body, okay? This is going to be a little bit different because basically with the realignment method, we're kind of using that more so on a physical level. We can use it for emotions, right? But it's better to actually look into cord cutting when we're looking into emotional body, or again, something like the BCR technique, okay? So Afumi, what I'm going to do, since this is emotional related, is I'm going to take you through the BCR process first, and then we're going to cut cords. Okay, so Afumi, get yourself nice and relaxed, nice and comfortable. We're going to start off with the breath of the B in BCR, the breath work. Okay, if you guys are still very confused about the BCR technique, about how it works, pay attention, and now you'll know. Okay, deep breath in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, and in, out. Okay, and just sit with that breath. Fumi, are you feeling nice and calm, right? You're working with that breath. You're bringing yourself into calmness, okay? So what the breath is doing, it's cleansing you, okay? You're bringing all that prana, you're bringing in all that chi into the body. It's oxygenating you. As you get oxygenated, you become active. As you become active, you become less thoughtful, right? It's quieting the mind. You oxygenate yourself, okay? Now you move into a state of calmness, okay? So you're tapping into the heart now. You're placing your hand right here on the heart. Am I in that calmness? Am I in that calmness? Yes, I am. Okay, so we're in the sea now. We're in the sea. There we go. We're in the sea of the BCR, okay? Am I in that calmness? Yes, I am. Okay. Am I ready to reinforce? Yes, I am. Okay. So now, Fumi, I want you to go into your perfect space. In your perfect space, I want you to see your new body, okay, just like we were doing with the realignment method. You're seeing a brand new body inside this perfect space. It's your oasis, it's your heaven, it's your Eden, okay? And you're just aware of your body, and you're feeling that body completely devoid, completely absent of all of this emotional trauma. You're feeling your body completely devoid of all emotional conflicts. And you guys can join me alongside, okay? This is not just for Fumi, this is for all of you, right? You're in this void. I wouldn't say void, you're in your oasis, your perfect place, and your body is completely devoid of any conflict, of any traumas, of any emotional harshnesses, okay? As you feel it being completely absent of all these things, your environment is changing. It's turning more beautiful. You're seeing these radiant colors. You're seeing beautiful objects of nature, beautiful plants, beautiful trees, shrubs. You're seeing the ocean of the beach, right? It's kind of like a sparkly blue, right? You're seeing the sky change. You're seeing everything. Everything that represents an object within your space is just radiating this pure love, this pure resonance. You may start to hear beautiful music within your space as you feel this uplifted body. You may see angels coming down, landing upon the ground, and shining their rays of light upon you that is warm, soft, subtle, and beautiful. You may see family members as their higher selves coming directly behind you and just putting their hands upon their shoulders, upon your shoulder, I should say, putting their hands upon your shoulder and just praising you, thanking you so much for being here, right? Being in your space. Now I want you just to take a moment and just feel all this love. Feel all this love from the environment, from the angels, from nature, from your loved ones that are the higher selves. Okay, and you're holding that ball. How much love is coming into that ball right now? Expand it. Expand it. Expand it. Make it bigger. Make it bigger. Look at all the love that is around you. Feel the love of your environment, of nature, of the angels, of your family. Feel this paradise. Feel this oasis. Feel this new body that you're in. It's devoid of any suffering. It's freedom. It's liberation. Because it's not the body that's giving you that. It's you that's giving you that, because you are the source of your happiness. And now with that big ball, we're now compressing it, making it smaller and smaller. And now we're going to put it into the heart. Okay? All of that is coming into the heart right now. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Okay? And again, as you put that into the heart, imagine this surging light that's just coming through your body right now. Okay? You're feeling that. You're just holding that there. So now, Afumi, what I want you to do now is I want you to look at the cord that represents any particular significant conflict or trauma that you once felt was there, okay? But now you're so high on love, you're looking at that gossamer thread. You're looking at that kind of like a silk web from a spider, right? That's the string, right? You can actually touch it, and the tighter it is, the tighter it has a grasp on your heart. If it's loose, it doesn't have such a grasp, okay? But if it's tight, if it's like a tight gossamer thread and you're being able to tap it, right, and it's really, really tight, that means it has a very, very tight grasp onto your heart. If it's loose, doesn't really matter, right? If it's loose, you can just basically cut it loose right now, right? But if it's really, really tight, okay, I just want you to feel that. And all of that surging love energy that's flowing through you right now, I want you to channel that through the cord, okay? Just feeling like that light spark is just channeling itself through the cord, okay? What you're doing is you're bringing love to that cord that's really, really tight. It's like a guitar string. And as that love flows through it, it's getting softer. It's getting looser, okay? As that cord gets loose, now here's the thing. You do not cut a cord when it's tight, okay? You want to channel that love energy that you put into yourself through that gossamer thread, through that cord, okay? And you let it soften, you let it loosen, okay? So it becomes flimsy like a noodle, right? It's as tight as a guitar string, and we want to make it as flimsy as a noodle, okay? So, Afumi, if you're feeling that cord as soft as a noodle, make your hand into a knife, cut the cord, okay? Make your hand into a knife, a blade, and cut the cord. We only cut the cord when it's loose, okay? So if it's a spaghetti noodle, if it's floppy, if it's loose, give it a cut, okay? It goes for everybody else. You are in your perfect space. You put that love energy into yourself. You're feeling it in your heart, and now you're touching a heartstring, okay? You're touching a cord, and that cord represents the emotional situation you just had previously before you did this exercise, okay? And again, you're channeling that love energy through that cord, right? It's like an electrical wire. You're just putting that pure love energy through that wire, and now it's softening. Now it's loose. Now it's loose, cut the cord, okay? After you've cut the cord, deep breath in, deep breath out, come back into the present moment, okay? So that cord cutting is a new facet. It's a new aspect of the BCR technique, okay? You guys have just seen me do this. Now you guys don't have an excuse. Go into yourselves, loosen those cords with love, and cut them, okay? This is what's going to help you tremendously, right? That's a stepping stone into something a lot more powerful, right? Because I get people with excuses all the time. Brad, I'm still feeling suffering. You were here when I did a BCR technique. Oh, yeah, but I don't really have the time because I'm doing all this stuff and I'm too busy pouting and I'm too busy miserable. Well, that's your problem, not anybody else's, right? So you have to want to change. Everybody who's watching this right now, you have to want to change. If you don't want to change, you're stuck with your crap. Simple as that. If you want to change, you do something like what you just saw, and you're loosening the cords, right? And now you're cutting it. Now you're cutting it. Now you're cutting it, all right? So that is an add-on to the BCR technique, all right? So as long as you have excuses, that's not going to save you. That's only going to add to your stagnancy. Excuses aren't going to save you, right? You have to save yourself by being willing to change. You have to know what the true definition of forgiveness means, okay? Because we say forgiveness all the time like it's loose change falling out of the mouth, okay? To understand what the true nature of forgiveness is the promise to change into what you wish to become, right? It is the promise to change. It is the promise to shift. You are giving yourself a promise. When you do not fulfill your promise, your forgiveness is disingenuous. Your genuine forgiveness comes through your ability to change. That's all it is, right? When you say, I forgive, means I've changed. I've changed into this new person now. I no longer see that horror. I no longer see that tragedy, whatever it is, right? I've given it the X. I've given it the red X, and now I've pushed it out of my life. I'm ready to forgive, and I'm ready to move into a new alignment. I'm ready to be a new person. That's what it takes to do your inner work. You have to be a new person, right? When you're going into self-inquiry, when you're going into the EQ method, you still have to be that new person. You have to see yourself beyond the body and beyond the mind to know who you really are and stay there. And let the self come in and do the work for you. Absorption, absorption, absorption. Okay? You guys may not know what I'm talking about. If you don't, come and take a look at the EQ method, because it can help you out. Okay, guys, we're done with healing right now. We're going to go now to Q&A. All right, so if you guys do have any questions for Adronis or myself, you can feel free to place that in the chat. We'll now go into live chat. Went a little bit long for the healing today, but like I said, everything is as it needs to be. Okay, I will go down the list here. See if there's any questions here. Okay, Blissful Gabriel said, thank you. I saw a past life that is connected to this condition, and it was deleted, maybe an old desire or contract. Thank you. Great. Very good. Glad to hear that, Gabriel. Okay. And glad to see you guys are helping out people that were asking for healing with Brad, and Elisa is his wife's name. Okay, I didn't get that. Thank you. So yeah, if you guys always want to share your love, that's what it's all about, right? Okay. So let me just go down the list here a bit more. Okay, here's one from Eleazar. All right. Again, I think I got your name right this time, right? How can one stay longer for hours in meditation? Not everybody can. Not everybody can, Eleazar, right? I certainly can't, right? Some of us are just very, very active, right? We're very strong with mental energy, with physical energy, right? With emotional energy. Some of us just can't sit still. It's actually a big stretch for me to do a meditation that's longer than a half hour. Because my body wants to move. My energy wants to work, right? That's just being an active person, okay? Then there are those who are very, very soft, very gentle, who are able to mellow their energies out. But again, when I get to that stage, it's kind of in the evening, right? When the sun goes down, my body starts to mellow out a lot more, right? So I really save my meditations to the evening, right? But like I said, even doing a half hour is a pretty big stretch for me, right? On average, it's about 15, 25 minutes that I do. And all I'm doing is I'm going into self-absorption, right? I'm going into self-abidance, again. Something that is learned through self-inquiry, something that is learned through the EQ method, okay? You are beyond the body, you are beyond the mind, okay? You are simply abiding within the self. You are being. So I stay there, and I just let this absorption come through. And commonly what I get is a lot of those kind of brain tingles, right? They call them ASMR, right? They're quite popular on YouTube, right? If a person who is like shredding paper, right? That sound of that shredding paper actually brings some people into these brain tingles, right? So there's shredding paper, there's whispering in the ears as well too, that basically triggers this ASMR, right? There's binaural beats, etc. And you're actually noticing this kind of brain tingling sensation, like your brain is, it's almost like invisible hands are just touching areas of your skull, right? And you're feeling this very relaxing, calming feeling of these kind of brain tingles, the ASMR, right? I get that all the time, every time I'm meditating, right? But I'm not getting it through shredded paper. I'm not getting it through a person whispering in my ears. I'm just getting it by being, right? And it's profound, right? You wake up the next morning and it feels like you're just in heaven. There really is just none of that suffering anymore. When you realize who you truly are, that suffering fades. Because people keep asking me, Brad, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you feeling all right? Why would I not be feeling all right? Right? You're into self-inquiry. You're into the EQ method. You realize who you are. You don't suffer anymore, right? You don't really care about what's happening in the world either, right? I share all this information because other people are asking about it a lot. And I'm happy to serve. Happy to share this information. But I really could care less about what's going on in the world right now. It doesn't matter to me, right? Because you're in that space. You're in the self. You're abiding there. And that's the pure peace. When your heart is at peace, you don't care about the affairs of the world. You don't care about what's going on. You're sending love to the entire planet. You're sending love to every single person because you see who that person really is. You see what the world truly is. It's an appearance of consciousness. It's yourself because you're consciousness, right? So you're just sending that love. You're sending that energy. Right? I couldn't care less about what's taking place. I couldn't care about the dramatic storylines of what the earth is going through. Right? Doesn't matter. It's all part of the process. It's just working out through this plane. It's just a part of the appearance of consciousness. It's a part of Maya. It's a part of the mind. Right? So to go to your question, Eleazar, how can one stay longer for hours of meditation? Don't force yourself. Okay? Don't force yourself to think, oh, I only did 10 minutes today. I got to try and do 15. And I'm trying to clench and strain myself. No, you're eliminating the nature of meditation. Do you guys know what the purpose of meditation is? It's concentration. That's it. You're concentrating, but you're not doing it like this. All right? It is soft. Okay? It is gentle. It is like a feather. Right? It's just a gentle wave where you're working with soft, abiding concentration, and you're just being aware of yourself. If something comes up, just be aware of that. Right? If it's a thought that's coming up, just be aware of that. Now you can inquire about it. Right? Who is it that has these thoughts? Oh, well, I do. Who am I? Am I aware of being aware? Right? Well, am I aware of being aware? Should I answer that question? Is that an intellectual question? Right? When you look into self-inquiry, those questions are not meant to be answered intellectually. When I say, who am I? There's no answer to that. When I say, am I aware? There's no answer to that. Am I aware of being aware? There's no answer to that. Right? We just remain in I. We remain in the I thought. Okay? And you may repeat that within your mind. I. And so when I'm there, when a thought comes up, that's okay. Right? Here's a thought that's nagging me, blah, 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 blah. Who is it that has these thoughts? I do. Who am I? Thought is gone, and I'm bringing my awareness to the I. And I stay there. Okay? Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, EQ method makes it simple. All right? So there is no time limit, Eleazar. Okay? It does not matter how long you stay within meditation. Just be. Be in beingness. That is far greater than actually meditating, right? Because meditation is concentration upon an object, right? There's an object, there's an image, there's a word, there's a breath. These are all things. These are all objects. When you're looking into self-inquiry, you have none of those, right? You don't focus on any of those things. You're in your beingness. Brad, I don't get it. EQ method. Okay? That's the shortcut. That's the easy version. All right? Thank you, Eleazar. Okay. Joe Jaja, how can we trust the new predictions? You can't. I'm not saying for you guys to basically put a gigantic stamp on your chest and says, I trust everything Brad says. Well, then you're a fool. Right? It is not about me dictating what is appropriate for your life. Right? Not because I'm trying to deceive you, but because, again, I don't know what you're going through day by day. I don't know what you're going through every second of your life. Right? I trust Donald Trump, then you're a fool. Right? I trust this leader, then you're a fool. I trust this politician, then you're a fool. I trust my mom and dad over myself, then you're a fool. Right? If you're not trusting yourself, if you're not going in here and opening that up and moving into that love and moving into the trust of self, then you're just following foolish errands. You are looking at the appearance of consciousness, thinking that it's greater than yourself, outside of you, and you're looking at this from an ego's perspective. You're looking at this from a separate self. Anytime you take your attention off yourself and you put it towards something else in your reality, right, you're following the fool's errand. Because again, you're looking at the separate self mentality. I want to intellectually know what's going on. Guess what? You're not going to find out that way. The intellect is not going to tell you. The intellect doesn't have trust. The intellect is too friggin' stupid. Okay? It can't do that. You are not going to find truth through the intellect. As I've said so many times before, intellect doesn't lead you to truth. It leads you to confusion. Because it's the language of the separate self. It's the language of the ego. It's the language of ignorance. If you want to go in and realize who you truly are, clean this out. Clean out the heart. You just witnessed how you were able to do that through the BCR technique with the cord cutting add-on. But you have to be willing to change. That's forgiveness, right? Forgiveness is being willing to change, right? If you constantly give your power to all these people, right, even to me, you're being a fool. To anybody, I don't care who it is. I don't care if you think it's the nicest person on the planet. I don't care if it's your mom, your dad, your grandpa, your best friend in the whole world. You constantly give them power and them trust over yourself. You're a fool. Simple as that, right? That is the fool. That is the mark of the fool. I'll just give it to anything else that's outside of myself because I don't know squat, because I'm too dumb, because I can't do this myself. These are all the excuses that the separate self is giving you and feeding you like a phantom ghost. Blah, 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 blah. Wait. And that's what happens when you look for the ego. Okay? And you look for the ego through the heart. This is why you say I, right? You're going into the heart. As soon as you're going into the heart, that phantom disappears. It's like a person who's waking up at 3 a.m. because they see a mysterious shadow on their wall. But once they investigate it, they realize it's just a shadow cast of their lamp or a shadow cast of their bookshelf, right? And now they realize there was no phantom after all. It was just a trick of shadows. How were they able to discover that? Self-investigation, self-inquiry, right? That's what the ego is, everybody. It's this trick of the light. It's a tricking shadow, right? It's a phantom. It's a parasite. It's a virus because we give it so much power. Because we rely on this. Blah, 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 blah. This is the truth, and this is what you have to do, and this is how you have to live life, and blah, 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 blah. Then you're being a fool if you're following for that, right? That is going to lead you nowhere. So this is why we say we do not get involved with intellect. Intellect is useless. When you want to know who you are, you cannot use intellect. When you want to know what the world truly is, you cannot use intellect. Okay? You use the heart. You go within. You clean it out. And now you see everything. Right? That's the key. Okay. Here's one from Blissful Gabriel. Thank you for your question. This is for Adronis. Okay. Are universes created or spontaneous? I mean, do they have a direction already known before the birth, totally calculated like a story, already written, or is it everything spontaneous? Okay. One moment. I'll bring Adronis in for this one. Okay. About the universe. All right. Spontaneity of the universe. Do they have a direction, etc.? How are they brought into being? Terra Soul Star Sirius Adronis. We are here. At this time, we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning into this broadcast through your internet collective consciousness. A reminder that all that we shall provide this moment of your time is simply that of our perspective, our point of view. For all knowledge, all information, all creation itself resides within your very hearts, beings, and souls. We thank you very much, Blissful Gabriel, for your question about universes, the multiverse. What about all these different universes? Do they have their own spontaneity of coming together, or are they pre-planned, etc.? If you are trying to figure out what the universe is from your vantage point in physical reality, you'll never figure it out. Because you think that everything resides in the idea of birth and death. And that is not the nature of the essence of the universe. That is not the nature and the essence of yourselves. That is not the nature and the essence of your earth. You see husks. You see physical material. You see objects. And yes, objects are destined to be born and to die. But when you really look at the essence behind all of the objects, behind all of the images, that is ageless. Therefore, when you're looking at matter, when you're looking at mind, when you're looking at object, this is nothing more than topography that is therefore added through the magnetism of thought. Therefore, when you're looking at when universes are born and when they die, you're looking at the topography of magnetized thought, a layer, a situation, because that is how it interacts within this plane to which you exist. You exist within the plane of stories. You exist within the plane of drama. You exist within the stories of timelines. There needs to be a beginning, a middle, and an end. And again, you become addicted to the topography of the magnetized thought. Well, here's the earth, and now the earth becomes no more. Nope, the earth always is. Well, here's me and my body, and the body becomes no more. Nope, because you always are. Well, here's the universe. It comes, and then it goes, and then it perishes. And now the topography is slated clean. And now it is no more. Nope. Because that is not what the universe truly is. You don't see it. Because you're trying to look at making sense with your reality through these two little things on your face. And that is not knowing reality. That is you buying into an illusion. It's no more different than having these 4 walls around you that are display screens, and that you are simply sleeping on the floor. When you wake up, the display screens show an environment, giving you the impression that you're in a valley, or you're by the beach, or you're on top of a mountain. But as you look around, this is what the eyes are telling you, but the heart is telling you something else entirely that you're not paying attention to. This is all an illusion. This is all appearance. You are not really in a valley. You are not really on the beach. You are not really on top of a mountain. It's an appearance because you rely on these 2 things. You rely on these 2 ears. You rely on these 2 nostrils. You rely on this mouth. You rely on these fingers. Your sight, your smell, your hearing, your taste, your touch. Well, that's what reality must constitute. No. That is what reality constitutes based upon you embodying yourself in an interface called the body. If you try to understand the universe through this, you'll never get it. The universe has always been. All that represents the universe, even what you term as your multiverse, has always been. It has not had a beginning. It has not had an end because you're too busy looking at the topography of the magnetized thought, existing within a plane like this that is the story plane, that is the drama plane, that is the timeline plane, the linear plane. You're not seeing true reality through this. Cannot be done. If you want to know what truly is, you have to go beyond this. And then you are going to go beyond the mind. Beyond the body, beyond the mind, where there is no image, where there is no object, where there are no thoughts, where there are no feelings, where there are no experiences. There just is. Now you know the truth when you are there. And that is abiding in the self. So, to answer your question, Gabriel, about the idea of other universes, When you look at their topography through magnetized thought, you will give the impression that they have a beginning, a middle, and an end. But they are all warranted together through the one will. The one will is what binds everything, which means it's all God's will. God assigns a logos to everything that represents his consciousness, her consciousness. Upon the earth, upon yourselves, upon the galaxy, upon all galaxies, upon everything that is life, they all have the logos of God within them. And therefore, what you are looking at is a personality that was bestowed upon you by God, by the one will. And so, yes, this is already known. This is already, as you would say, determined. But you do not know that because you exist within this form where everything, as you would say, is limited to you. You, again, only know so much. You're only following breadcrumbs. When you look at it from the higher perspective, you can now see the one will because you've built a relationship with God. You've built a relationship with the source. You've built a relationship with the one. And now you realize that everything plays a part through the gigantic mechanism that is the one will, that makes creation what it is. That is how it has always been. That is how it will always be. Everything representing yourself is truly determined. You do not really have free will. Free will is an illusion. Free will is therefore generated through the nature of confusion. You only have the illusion of choice because you're confused. When you're not confused, you realize that choice is no longer a part of the equation, and all there is decision. I'm deciding to get up this morning. I'm deciding to get myself dressed. I'm deciding to go brush my teeth. I'm deciding to go make myself breakfast. I'm deciding to get into my car and go to work. All of that was one pure stream. There's no choices there because you're not confused. Confusion is what generates the illusion of choice because you've never really made a choice. That's the whole idea. Everything that you have ever done has been a decision. It has never been a choice because you've never experienced two experiences at once. You've gone through sequence. You've gone through linearity. You see, that's the nature of this world. That's the nature of this plane. That's how it exists. Within the confinement of an illusion pertaining to space, time, matter, energy, karma, etc. All those too are illusions. They are Maya. They are part of the mind. When you go beyond the mind, you are no longer confined to those conditions. Because now you are one. You abide with who you really are. That's going beyond this. All right? This is some food for thought for each of you. We thank you very much for your question. Okay, very good. Thank you, Gabriel, for your question. All right, moving on. Okay, Stefan Paquette says, can I slip in one last healing for my broken left thumb? Of course. We'll do a quick healing, and then we'll continue on with some questions here. Okay. So, Stefan, same thing. We're going to do realignment method. All right. So, right now, Stefan, I just want you to be aware of your body, top of the head, down the bottom of the feet, just being aware of how it is right now, not trying to change or alter anything. Okay, I want you to feel yourself floating out of the body now into your dream body, just as if you were to go to sleep in your bed. Feeling yourself in the astral body. If you cannot see it, just feel it. Directly in front of you is now your new body. Okay, now I want you just to be aware of that new body that's there. I want you to feel yourself just imbuing yourself directly into that new body. All right, you're feeling your hands, your fingers, your thumbs. Everything feels perfect. You are absent of any conflict or conditions. Okay. As you are absent of any conflicts and conditions, now you're looking into your body. You're feeling your body, right? How does my body feel? Feels really vitalized, feels really well, feels absolutely pristine. Organs feel great, spine feels great, bodily systems feel great, skin feels great, it's glowing, it feels fantastic, right? And now you have that thought ball. Put all of those positive things that you just said, that I said, that you're sharing, right? Feels great, feels amazing, feels radiant, feels well, feels incredible. This body is pure. My thumb is completely well, right? There's no distortion, there's no conflict, there's no conditions contained within this body. This is happening right now, right now, right now. Okay? So I want you just to sit with that for a moment, okay? Okay, so Stefan, now that you're sitting with that, taking that ball now, compressing it, making it a small ball, putting it into the crown. Feel that surge of energy coming through this new body. This is your new body. You have completely made that a certainty. Your brand new body, sitting with it now and just holding that thought as I connect with Spirit. I command Spirit to apply Stefan's command. Apply. Okay, deep breath in, deep breath out. Stefan, how are you feeling? Okay, you can feel free to leave me feedback if you want in the chat, or you can drop me an email. All right, thank you very much. Okay, going down the list here a bit more. Okay. Yeah, so again, just a reminder, guys, to work with that cord cutting. Okay, Afumi just gave some feedback here. Thank you very much. Love the wisdom of not cutting the cord when it's tight. I also like the idea of dissolving the cord. Feels much more grounded and calm. Absolutely. This is what we're doing, right? A lot of people make the mistakes of cutting a cord when it's tight, right? We don't do that. If we do that, then again, we're just basically watching it regenerate because nothing gets cut, right? It's that tightness that is representing the symbology that you are still very attached with that emotional conflict, with that trauma, right? If it's very, very tight, we don't cut it. We surge that love energy, right? So it's like energy. It's like electricity. We're just surging it through that cord, right? We feel the love just streaming through that cord. And as it streams, what is love energy? Love energy is soft. Love energy is gentle. Love energy is subtle. And now it becomes like a spaghetti noodle. It loses its strength. It is now flimsy. Now that it's flimsy, we cut it. All right? So keep doing that, guys. Right? This will help you big time. As long as you're doing it in that context. Love energy through it. Make it a flimsy noodle and give it a cut. Okay. I think we'll go with Fiona's question here. I think we're going to make this the last question here. Maybe we'll take one more. We'll see. Fiona says, where does the reality end and the illusion begin? Right. So again, that's still looking at the nature of separate self. Right. If we're looking at what ends and we're looking at what begins, does that mean we're surpassing the separate self? No. You're still in the confines of those four walls, as Adronis said. That's a display screen. Well, here's a star exploding, so that must be the end of the star. Nope. That's the topography of the magnetized thought, as Adronis was saying, right? It's all of this topography. It's like looking at a map, right? And seeing all this stuff here, all this matter, right? As long as you keep looking at what ends and what begins, the illusion will never end, okay? That's not how an illusion ends. You have to see yourself beyond the illusion. Think of it as the idea of wandering a maze, right? You're constantly wandering the walls of this maze and saying, when will I get to the center? When will I be able to achieve this? And you're noticing that the maze is constantly moving around. It's constantly changing. When is this illusion going to end? It's not going to end because you see yourself as the person walking through this illusionary maze. That is the nature of Maya, right? That's samsara. Okay, that's the nature of the world. As long as you continue to give power as an individualized self in a body on a planet here, right? Having to feel like the mind is going to get you out of this. you're going to continue to wander that maze. Guys, this is what I'm saying. You have to give yourself the permission to give up the body, to give up the mind, because they're not going to get you out of this. They are the illusion. The mind is the magician. The mind is what's spinning all of these illusions, right? I'm going to get enlightened because I'm working with the mind. No, you're not, right? That's not the idea. We can work again with the mind at certain degrees, and we're chomping away at certain bits. Absolutely, right? We can reinforce, we can replace negative for positive, etc. That'll get us to a certain point. But at that certain point, there needs to be a greater shift. And that greater shift is taking you out of the body, taking you out of the mind. You are beyond the body, you are beyond the mind, and you are simply being. That is your natural state. That is who you are. That is permanence. Permanence is not an illusion. Permanence is the true reality. When you are able to abide in the self, you understand what true reality is. This is what happened to me in June. This is why I'm switching directions. This is why things are ending for me and new things are beginning, because we're going into the deeper learning. The deeper learning is what's coming in September and October and so forth, right? This is what I'm going to be teaching on this channel. Yes, we'll still look into mind constructs. I'll still take any questions you guys have, even if it's about channeling or even if it's about the Akashic Records or what have you. Just I won't be channeling and I won't be tuning into the Akashic Records because I'll have something greater. And that's spirit, because spirit is beyond all of that, right? This is what's changing. Okay? So, let me just see if there's any other questions here. I think that might be the last one. Okay, here's one here from Lucia. Lucia says, I guess I'll take this one. At what age was Jesus crucified? Well, he was 33 or older. Well, remember that he was actually born on 4 BC, right? 4 BC was actually his birth date. It was not 0 AD, right? It was actually 4 BC. This has actually been confirmed when you actually look at John Van Elken's pyramid inch and the Egyptian timeline. It was actually shown that Jesus was actually born at 4 BC. Even a lot of the Vedic traditions actually also say that Jesus was born in 4 BC. I've also tuned into this myself, and that too is correct, that he was born on 4 BC. So it's hard to say. It could be between 33 to 37 years old, somewhere around that time when he was crucified. Right? So that's what we do know, is the idea that he was born actually on 4 BC, and he could have lived between 33, 37 years old or so, around that time. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody, for all of your questions today for this episode of New Earth TV Live. So again, I will be back next Friday with another episode of New Earth TV Live. More videos to come this week as well, too. Remember to sign up for free for the upcoming Adronis event. Okay, it's going to be taking place on Saturday, August 26th, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a 2-hour event, free webinar. Again, if you want to ask questions to Adronis, make sure you're on Zoom. Okay, that's where questions are going to be happening. But it will be simulcasted on YouTube live here as well, too. All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the week. Have a great weekend, and I'll speak to you again next week, or rather, in another perspective of the now. Take care. Thank you very much for checking out the New Earth Teachings YouTube channel. Feel free to check out my websites, newearthteachings.com, healingcodecards.com, healingcodeshop.com. Go on to healingcodecards.com to grab your body deck and your mind deck. Also available in digital versions as well. And of course, you can follow me on social media, on Facebook, on MeWe, and of course on Telegram as well. Thank you again for tuning in, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Take care and show the way. Sorry, my microphone was off. So again, just an update to Fran. Fran, thank you so much for the update there about the healing with your mom, that she had bladder cancer. She is now cancer-free. So grateful. Thank you so much. I didn't do anything. Okay, it was all Fran, 99.9% with her. All right, 0.1% is spirit just reflecting that energy back to you. You guys are the healers. This is the power that you have. I haven't done anything. Okay, you're the ones that are making this happen. So Fran is the trooper. Fran is the warrior. Fran has the strength. If she can do it, you guys can too. 99.9% of that effort is through you. All right. Thank you again, guys. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Blessings.